So some of you have been wondering, how can I make an agent with caller memory, Mark? And I already built the system out for you. Might as well just add on caller memory so you can see what that would look like. We have here a country club agent, if you saw the last video, that can address people by their first name just because it recognizes the phone number, which is pretty cool. And then it can also see whether someone's a member or whatnot. And here we have that set up to be inbound call, right here, inbound call webhook URL using this make.com scenario. So that's pretty straightforward. The way it works is, as you saw before, it recognizes the number, makes a quick search, finds Mark and member as the status and name here, and then it sends back that information in the form of this JSON. So think through this with me. If we wanted to make an agent with caller memory, what would we have to do? Well, first thing, we'd have to update the information that's being sent back to the agent, right, as soon as the call starts. And so that would have to be caller memory. Now, this value would be null on the first calls, but after someone's already talked to an agent and then they call back later on, and then we assume that that value would be full of something. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm only going to be including memory from the last conversation, not all caller conversations, but I think in most purposes that works well enough. So you can see all I'm going to do here is add on a dynamic variable that we're sending back, and in this case it's going to be memory. I'm going to name it, and we're going to go just like so. So I think if you haven't watched the previous video, which is just on building an inbound agent, that would help you understand what's going on here, but if you're familiar with make, you'll be fine. So, okay. And I'm going to put a comma right here. Memory. So I'm going to hit save before we populate that information. We're going to go back to our Google Sheets and we're going to just add a little column here that's going to be called memory. Now, obviously there's nothing in there, but just to test it, what we can do, we don't have a way of getting memory in there yet. We can say, you talked with Mark about his favorite color blue. Okay. Now, what's cool is we'll go back over to retail now that this is configured, and we'll go here and we'll say, this is my prompt, reference caller memory. I'm sorry, memory of previous conversation by using memory. Now this is going to be case sensitive, so we'll say memory, just like that. And that should be good enough. We can adjust the prompt to make sure it's working, but now the last thing we have to do for this test to work, we can go right over here, hit save, and we're going to run this Google Sheets. Okay, so we're going to hit run this module only. We want the from number. In this case, we're going to be using this number right here. So I'll just take this number. We have to add the country code, of course. Hit save. And now you can see memories coming back. Now let's make sure that that information, yeah, okay, is being sent over. Memory. Okay, for some reason it's not saying memory right there, but it should be. So if we just hit, you might have to refresh this. That's totally normal. So might have to go, let's see. It should be working. I'm not sure why. Maybe the Google Sheet hasn't updated yet, but I'll just reload it. Okay. There we go, it's saved to drive. And we'll run it again. So let's see what happens. Okay. There it is. See, it was just updating. So now if we go back here, we'll hit memory, and then we can input this memory right there. And our formatting should be correct. We hit save. Now when I call it, it should be able to have some memory. And we'll go right over here. Let's see what happens. It's exciting.
Thank you for calling Marvin Country Club. Is this Mark?
Yes, this is Mark. Do you remember what we talked about last call?
Hello, Mark. Welcome back to Marvin Garden Club. While I don't have access to previous call details, I'm here to assist you with anything you need today. How can I help you?
Let's try again. Do you remember, do you not remember our previous conversation?
I apologize for any confusion, Mark. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to recall past conversations. However, I'm here to assist you with any current needs or questions you might have. How can I help?
Let's pause that. We're just doing this on the go. But let's try and go reference memory. Let's actually say you have memory of previous conversations using your memory conversations is memory, just like that. If caller asks, do you remember XYZ, refer to perfect. So we're gonna hit save, boom. Now I believe that should work. So if I go back, we're going to test it one more time. You're getting to see on the fly here what this actually looks like when you're testing an agent, going back, tweaking it, making sure it works. I'm not hiding anything.
Thank you for calling Marvin Country Club. Is this Mark?
Yes, this is. Do you remember what we talked about last conversation?
Hello, Mark. Yes, I remember we talked about your favorite color, blue. How can I assist you today at Marvin Garden Club?
All right, that's pretty cool. So we got it to work. There you go. So we'll hit save. Now the last thing we have to do though is actually make it so it remembers past conversations. And the way that we're going to do that is instead of manually putting in the information, we're going to go back over here and configure the information that's being exported from retail. So first thing we're going to do is go to post call analysis, and we want to we're going to define the data that we're extracting. So in this case, we're going to say memory. We're going to say, give me, actually that might work, detailed summary of the call. Give me the top 3 key points of the conversation that would be important to remember. Now I'm leaving this up to the AI's discretion, but in this case I think for the example it will work. And now that data is going to be extracted. The important part is we have to configure that over in retail. So let's go over to retail, in make.com, and we're going to make a new scenario, make a new scenario, and we're going to hit create a new scenario, and just like we've done before many times, we're going to collect retail's information. So we're going to go custom webhook, memory, I'm going to call it memory, and I'm going to copy this address right here, and this is important. We're going to insert it right at the bottom, agent level webhook URL. This allows information to be received from retail. So let me close this. Sorry about that. And now we're going to reference this Google Sheets right over here. So, and instead of doing search a row like we did last time, we're going to be doing update a row, right? So if we go here, caller list country club, just updating a simple row, sheet 1. Okay, and in this case, I'm sorry, we're going to have to update the row first, searching for the correct row. So if we go back, this is important, folks. You're seeing this on the fly, on link. We'll update the row later. First, we actually have to go back here and go search rows, in this case. And we're going to search based off that phone number that we're calling from. So this is you'll see the reason I'm doing this right now, but just off the fly, caller list country club, boom, sheet 1. And in this case, we're going to be searching by the number. So the number that comes from equals to the data that's being extracted. So we're going to have to put that here. In this case, what I'm going to do, just for the sake of arguments, I'm going to take this number that we're searching from, put it right here, +1. And there you can see, and we're going to run it just so you can see what it looks like. And then based off that value, the search rows, we're going to use that row to update a specific row, but we have to know which row we're updating, right? So that's why we're searching rows here. Hopefully that's making sense. The logic, it takes a second. You're learning by osmosis, right? So I'm going to hit run this module only. Boom. So here we have this information being sent. I'm going to go back here, update a row, caller list. Oh no, click the wrong one. Caller list, sheet name. Okay, row number. Now this is where you can see what's going on here. So we're going to hit row number 2, or just row number. You can see that's 2 in this case. And now, are you understanding the logic, right? So it's searching for a row based off the phone number. So it's going to go through here and go, okay, which row has this 757 phone number? Oh, I see it's row, in this case, 2, right? So I'm going to take that and I'm going to export it and say, all right, row 2 matches this phone number. Beautiful. And now what I'm going to do is take that and I'm going to say, okay, it's row 2. And I'm going to input row 2 right here in this make.com module. Now what's interesting is make this, at least this update a row function requires that you have a row number to update. Obviously, in order for me to have a row number, I have to have a way to search it. So that's why we had to search it. So, and right here you can see I'm using the row number right there. That's being sent over. Hopefully that's making sense. Now, if I go back over here, we're going to update. What are we looking to update? We're looking to update memory, of course. And in this case, we don't have the information being sent over from retail, so we're going to have to test this ourselves and let retail send over the data so that we can manipulate it. Hit save. But that's where we would update it. And you can actually, I can show you what that would look like. Say, you talked about cats, right? And now if I hit save, I can hit run this module, row number, in this case 2. And now it's updating it. User entered. You talked about cats. So that's what's going to update, right? Okay. Beautiful. So I'm going to go back here to memory, delete that, save. And what we want to do now is configure the data that's being sent over. So we're going to hit redetermine data structure. And so we can see what's being sent over. What we actually could do is just run the whole thing. So I might actually go ahead and do that right now because we're looking for a particular piece of information. Oh, maximum has been over exceeded. Let me turn that off real quick. Okay, so I turned that off. Here we go. So now what I'm going to do, we need to connect retail over to make, right? And in this case, we have to go immediately as data arrives, hit save, make sure that verify copy address to clipboard, redetermine that address is placed right here. So now when I call it, it should send over that information at the end of the call all over here into retail. So I'm going to call it right now. So you can see what's going on. Make sure that this is running. And there we go. Okay. The reason we're doing this is because it's going to send over 3 things. Pay attention to it. First, it's going to send over call started. That's the first webhook. Second is call ended. And then it's going to send over call analyzed. Really all that we're interested in here, the juice of it, is call analyzed. Call analyzed is going to have that custom analysis that we predefined earlier, which says, we want to extract certain memory. And then it's also going to be able to give us the other information that we need in order to update the rows. So we're going to filter out everything else, but in order to filter everything else, we have to run it all through. Okay, so let's do that right now. Run call. There it goes.
Thank you for calling Marvin Country Club. Is this Mark?
Yes, this is Mark. How are you today?
Hello, Mark. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Welcome to Marvin Garden Club. I see you're listed as a member. How can I assist you today?
Boom. So now it should have sent over. Boom. You see that updating? 3rd time. It went through 3 times. I know that was very fast, but if we go and look at this, we can click Hopefully it should say call analyzed here. Boom, thank goodness. That's exactly what we want. Now it sent over information 3 times. Luckily it didn't update anything. But if it was updating things, it would update it 3 times. And we don't want that. So we have to filter the rest out. So in this case, we're going to just add a simple filter. We've done this before. If you've watched any of my videos, call analyzed. Right, hit save. And then what's going to happen here is we're going to update based off the exact information we're looking for. So in this case, we want to put in, let's see. Now it should have sent over custom analysis, and I don't believe it did yet. So that might take, oh, call analysis right there. Yeah, it did. Sorry, my eyes. Call custom analysis. Mark is a member of mom. Okay, so now it just did it's sending over the memory. Perfect. Now the last thing, if you remember, we have to configure this text operator. We want this to be the from number, not my number. So we'll go right over here and put from number. So again, this is the number that I would be calling from. It's picking it up and then going, okay, who's calling? The person with this number. Great. Now I'm going to update the row that's associated with that number. Beautiful. So that's exactly what's going on here. All that to say, as soon as we call this, it's going to capture the caller memory right here in this Google Sheets. And we're going to test it right now so you can see what that looks like. And then the next time we call it, we're going to talk to it. It'll send over that memory just like we built out right here. I've been wanting to build this for a while. I'm happy I built this. And then it will send that memory back over to retail, and then retail will have it during the conversation. So I'm going to call it right now. And actually, I'm going to go back as I'm calling it so you can see what's going on. Look at that. First.
Thank you for calling Marvin Country Club. Is this Mark?
Yes, this is Mark. How are you today?
Hello, Mark. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Welcome to Marvin Garden Club. I see you're listed as a member. How can I assist you today?
Can you tell me about my membership, what it includes?
Great to have you with us, Mark. As a valued member, your membership includes access to our fine dining options, exclusive events, private lounges, and a range of premium experiences.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. I'm so privileged. Thank you so much. What I really want for you is to remember something about me. Do you know that my favorite color is actually green?
I'm glad to hear you're enjoying your membership, Mark. While I don't have the ability to remember personal preferences like favorite colors, I do recall that we talked about cats before. If there's anything else you'd like to share or need assistance with, feel free to let me know.
Okay. Well, this time I just want you to know that my eyes are green, and that's why I like the color green. All right. Well, have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And now let's see if it updates it. Mark is a member. Oh, I put a lot of information. Number 2, his favorite color is green. He expressed his desire for the agent to remember this. The agent confirmed the membership. It's a little long for my liking, but it gets the point across. Now if I call it back, what's going to happen?
Thank you for calling Marvin Country Club. Is this Mark?
Yeah, this is Mark. What's up?
Hello, Mark. Welcome back to Marvin Garden Club. It's always great to hear from you. How can I assist you today?
Wow, so friendly. Do you remember my favorite color?
Of course, Mark. Your favorite color is green. I'm glad you mentioned it before. It's such a vibrant and refreshing choice. How can I assist you today?
What else did we cover last conversation?
Sure, Mark. Last time we talked about your membership benefits here at Marvin Garden Club. I mentioned that your membership includes fine dining, exclusive events, and access to private lounges. Is there anything specific you'd like to explore further today?
Man, I really like the private lounges. Okay, anyway, stop. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, you get the point. We got it to work. Very simple. Some people think that color memory is really complex. It's actually really easy. It's about 6 different modules here in Make in totality. So there you can see how we built it. Hopefully that makes sense. If this is your first time using Make, I know the logic can take a little bit to understand, but just so you know, this is how you do it. And if you're building this out for a client, here you go. This is a great way to integrate caller memory, and you can do this with N8N or any other database. So hopefully this video helps you. and I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. All right. Have a great day.